Welcome in, everyone, and thank you for listening to the 198th ever episode of the Missouri Sports Podcast, brought to you by 106 Apparel and recording from the Revel Advertising Studio in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Albert, alongside my good friend and fellow Mizzou fan, Kyle DeVries. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm incredible, Cam. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's way too hot outside.
Oh, okay.
What?
Well, I thought you were a summer kind of guy.
Forget it.
Okay.
This broke me.
I was gonna ask you. Are you happy now?
No.
For what you've done.
I regret everything I said about summer. It's awful.
Everything?
Unless I'm at the lake or pool or river, get me to fall.
Give me to
autumn.
I didn't know where you were going with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
And
I've always thought that.
It's June.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mid-June, and
it's not even technically summer.
Yeah. And like every little day on the weather app or whatever, it's just like mid-90s.
And there's a 98 real temperature coming up.
No end in sight, you could say.
I'm over it.
I'm not a fan. Sorry, guys.
Man, usually this is the time of year where I'm very pro summer.
Oh, of course.
It's just kind of just settling in. Pools are open.
Sun's out late.
Yeah. Long days. That's all nice.
Now, producer Cameron, you haven't said anything. Are we talking blasphemy?
No, I really enjoy summer, but it's way too hot right now. It's hard to enjoy it when it's like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're at the point weather-wise where I'm usually ready for fall.
Right.
But that usually doesn't come for another month and a half or two.
Wow. I feel like normally I'm fighting you guys on this. I'm loving this collaboration.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. Attitude of togetherness. I'm liking it.
Yeah. I can't do it anymore. What do we have to talk about today? We have a brand new NIL program, thanks to the Missouri legislature, and some stuff behind the scenes for Mizzou to get some players a little bit of cash. We're going to talk about some visitors, some football commitments. Before we do any of that, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. If you like the show, leave us a like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Leave a review on the podcast platform that you listen to us on. And, of course, you can support the show directly on Patreon, patreon.com/Missouri Sports Pod. We have a special Patreon exclusive content coming up soon. We talked about chicken wings a few weeks ago, and everybody wants more wing content.
Everybody loved it. Everybody wants to see us suffer.
It's going to be paywalled. You got to sign up on Patreon. It'll be exclusive there. We're going to eat incredibly hot wings and talk about Mizzou and give each other trivia questions that we have to try to answer while our mouths are on fire. And, we're going to just steal the idea of hot ones exclusively for Patreon members. So that'll always be there.
Yeah.
But you'll have to sign up to be able to access it.
Yeah, not only that, you get to be part of a Discord community, and we're chatting every day basically about Mizzou life in general.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten to be pretty close with those guys, so if you want to be a part of a community and we're talk Mizzou whenever, we're there.
There's several different tiers of support at different dollar amounts, so you can go in there, see what you get for the different level, and we would appreciate it. Or you can just keep listening to the regular old podcast, absolutely free, just like you always have been. Kyle, let's kick it off with two football commitments. Marquis Johnson, 3-star wide receiver, and Kristian Williams, transfer from Oregon, defensive lineman, originally 3-star from Memphis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll talk about Marquis Johnson first. Like you said, he's a wide receiver from Texas. He's kind of under-recruited, at least up until maybe a little bit more recently. He was at a camp in Texas and had got a little more visibility. Got an offer from, I think, TCU, maybe Arkansas. So some bigger programs have kind of come in late. His father actually played defensive back at Mizzou, so he's got some history.
Dominique Johnson.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Dominique Johnson is his father. So a little bit of a legacy there with Mizzou, but Obviously, he is individually talented himself. He didn't just get the offer because of the family connection. He is incredibly fast. When you watch his film, that just immediately sticks out, that he's super smooth, like route runner, and can just blow by you. Hasn't had like crazy stats yet, but he still obviously has another year of high school to go, which I would expect him to maybe put up bigger numbers in his last year. But he does a lot of special team stuff, kickoff returns, and man, I don't know. Just he's tough to bring down. He's tough to even get a finger on him because he's just blowing by you.
Yeah, his straight line speed on like a kick return is incredible.
Yeah,
like he doesn't even have to make a move most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like players at the high school level aren't used to seeing somebody that fast,
right?
And so like their angles are all off and everything. He just runs as fast as he can in a straight line, runs by everybody.
Yep.
Now, we do have to mention, though, with Marquis, he, shortly after he committed, he tweeted that his recruitment is still 100% open.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way of going about things, but...
yeah, I don't love it. That is kind of just, I guess some people would say that's modern day recruiting, which I guess they're not wrong. It still seems a little weird. You commit to somewhere, and then that's a SEC offer when a guy who's been pretty under recruited. That's a school that your dad went to. I think that's a pretty big deal to commit somewhere like that, and then to kind of follow up the next day and say your recruitment's still 100% open. You're perfectly welcome to do that, but the fans probably aren't going to be super happy about it. So I think that tweet was deleted pretty quickly. So. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. You don't expect players when they commit verbally to
just immediately advertise themselves.
Right,
is that what you're saying?
But realistically, we know that players are still open to hearing from other schools,
of course,
up until they sign. So it's just kind of jarring to see it put that plainly, right? Like the day after you commit.
Right.
But whatever.
One more thing on his speed. Dave Matter tweeted, he says, "How fast is new Mizzou wide receiver commit Marquis Johnson? He ran a 10.37 in the 100 meters this spring. It was wind aided, but he also posted 3 more times that were 10.6 or faster. Missouri Class 5 state record was set this year, and it was 10.46. So his fastest time would have broken the record here in Missouri for the 100 meters.
That's really fast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, stockpiling big bodies on the offensive and defensive lines. Just having incredibly fast players at wide receiver and the defensive backfield just
never hurts.
Yeah, can't have enough.
Yeah, even if he is just a special teams player, that's incredibly valuable to have. But Dave Matter also added that Ryan Wingo he's a top-ranked 2024 recruit that I'm sure you guys are probably well aware of. He ran a 10.55 at the state meet last month in the 100 meters, so also extremely fast. Marquis Johnson's best time was even faster than that. So he's got speed, that's for sure.
I'll take him. How about Kristian Williams, defensive tackle transfer from Oregon?
Yeah, I see this as kind of a similar ad to Josh Landry from Baylor. Maybe a month or two ago. Just adding depth to that defensive line room. I definitely think he could start. I don't know that it's completely out of the question, but most likely probably just going to be a rotational guy on the defensive line. But that's a great ad this late in the summer. I mean, camp starts in a month and a half, and we're adding guys who will make a difference immediately. So that's always great. I think he was involved with Missouri initially in his recruiting process from high school, and just decided to. It felt like a natural destination for him on the second time around.
So another 3-star player when he was originally coming out of high school, had offers at that time from Indiana, Kentucky, Louisville, and Memphis, as well as Oregon, where he ended up. So just keep adding productive D1 guys.
So many newcomers on this squad. I mean, we're talking like 35, 40 guys maybe that are just completely brand new to the roster.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think like 5 or 6 new additions just on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Oh, and a player that we forgot to mention last week who committed to Mizzou, kicker Blake Craig from Liberty, Missouri, Liberty North High School. And according to the kicker rankings, he's the number 2 kicker in the country.
That's pretty good. Does it seem like a lot of Missouri's specialists are like just top 5 recruits?
I don't really...
Is it just because they're only getting recruited like once every 4 years or something, and so there's not as many of them?
I don't know.
It seems like every year it's like top 3 in the country. But Harrison Mevis is like legitimately like worthy of that recruiting ranking.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not exactly sure how all that works, honestly.
I don't either.
Because most of like Rivals and 24/7, they don't really throw kickers in with the rest of the players that they're ranking. But I do need to give a shout out to Philip, who left us a YouTube comment reminding us of that.
Yes,
we
thank you,
definitely
Philip.
did forget him last week. But I mean, as far as like the rankings and stuff, who knows? But I just like seeing a high quality addition at a specialty position like that. To especially when we've got Harrison Mevis. He's incredible, and honestly, maybe the reason we didn't talk about it last week is like subconsciously we didn't want to think about the fact that he's going to move on at some point. You think?
Sure.
Have you thought about that? He's not going to be here forever.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to think about. Do you think you could make a field goal of like 35 yards?
No.
Okay, I'll give you 5 tries. You think you make it once?
35 yards?
Yeah.
Not even close.
25 yards.
I can't. I
think
don't.
you can do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not confident that I could get the ball over the over the crossbar from any distance with my foot.
Oh, like couldn't get the loft.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're selling yourself short a little bit.
Me too.
Guys,
35 yards is kind of far out.
I would.
Maybe that'll be some content someday. We just go to a football field and give it a shot.
What's an extra point?
I would bunt in kickball. I didn't play soccer even recreationally. I'm
It's
not
football,
good.
dude.
Okay, sorry. I failed to realize you're...
I'm not. I can't.
Okay, maybe I...
My kicking,
Okay. Well,
the coordination.
maybe we won't try. What's an extra point? How far would that be? Like...
A new one or an old one? I guess in college it's still the same length.
like
25?
25 yards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you how do you learn how to kick stuff well? Did you play soccer
Practice.
a little bit?
Yeah, practice. Soccer.
I'm
I
saying
feel like
you.
Me?
You think you could kick an extra point?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh.
I was asking you, like, what? I'm trying to gauge.
You seem surprised that I'm like, no, I could definitely not do it.
Well, I don't know. I guess I thought that you might at least give yourself a chance.
35 is a long way.
35 is...
I probably couldn't do 35. Maybe 25.
You've seen them try.
Whenever the random people come out, it's awful.
Yeah, there's some of those competitions and stuff. If they're throwing a thing through a thing or they're shooting baskets, I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to try sometime.
Right. But not the kicking.
Be a little nervous, but I'd try it.
What about a punt?
No.
Okay.
Nothing foot related. If when they go out and try a field goal when the fans do it,
Yeah.
I think I would refuse the opportunity.
If they were
Because
like,
it would
I'll give you $500 just to attempt it in front of this sold out crowd, would you do it?
Well, just to attempt it, yeah.
Okay.
I
What
would
if they
do it.
said no money to attempt it, but $5,000 if you make it?
It wouldn't be worth
Not
it.
worth the embarrassment?
No. I mean, I would feel bad taking that opportunity from somebody else who might actually have a chance.
Wow.
Yeah.
So selfless.
That is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
There would be no point in me walking out there.
Okay.
We're going to have to do it now
Yeah,
and record
probably.
it.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, I had something to say about Harrison Mevis. I can't remember what it was, but I can't remember what it is. I would hate to be the person that has to follow up Harrison Mevis.
That's a good point.
I mean, he is an absolute legend.
Yeah. Good luck
yeah.
to Blake. But we believe in you.
I absolutely believe in you. But
And we appreciate
big shoes to fill.
the commitment to the squad. So we had some potential future commitments on campus relatively recently.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. Frequent visitor, He's been on campus, I think, more than anyone in the like time span that he's been a recruit for Missouri. Samuel Mpemba, he is back again. He was back again for another unofficial visit and took some cool pictures with a stuffed tiger and a cowboy hat and all kinds of stuff. I've never seen somebody enjoy visits as much as him, I don't think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I'd like to imagine that I'm just completely making up a headcanon for his visits now, but I like to imagine that the like social media crew loves having him back, and they've like developed this relationship, so they just like take him to like the prop closet.
Yep.
And you're like, what do you want to
Go to town.
Yeah, pick out some stuff. We'll take some cool pictures. What do you think?
Yeah.
So he was riding the stuffed tiger wearing a cowboy hat in one of the pictures.
Can you just visit somewhere as many times as you want? Like what? Like I don't even.
Unofficial.
I guess. Like I mean, he's going to
School's
other
not
places
paying
too.
for any of it.
I guess. I mean, it seems like he's at Mizzou as much or more than anyone, though.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's fine to me.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. The other visitor, it was another unofficial visit, and we only know this because of an Instagram story, but Jeremiah Love was on campus, fresh off the big boost to his recruiting rankings.
Yeah.
He was in Columbia.
Definitely a guy that seemed like he was going to stay home as recently as even just maybe a month or two ago. Seemed like definitely an in-state guy that would end up at Missouri. Still might, but that's going to be much more of an uphill climb than we originally thought, and it's just absolutely blown up here in the last couple months. But it's cool to see him on campus. It's great.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary looking at like the 24/7 Sports in-state guys. There's not very many Tiger heads on the crystal ball situation, so there's a lot of Oklahoma. There's some Notre Dame, Tennessee, Southern California.
Southern California.
That's tough competition.
That's random.
Yeah. Well, that's where I would always go in NCAA football 2006.
Really?
Number 1 team. I didn't know better back then.
Wow. That's really disappointing to hear, man.
Well, I've been a true son ever since. I'll start like a career mode in one of those games, be like, you know what? Let's really just hear out all the offers.
Yeah.
Let's,
Really analyze it.
let's not get tunnel vision on Mizzou here.
Got to see the depth chart.
Yeah, let's just find a good fit, championship contender. I just always go to Mizzou.
Do you think recruits in real life analyze like the depth chart? Like maybe a better way to say it is their path to playing time, or
Yeah. Well, if video games have taught me anything, sometimes some guys value that stuff more than others.
That's true.
Sometimes,
Get out the right pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Got to match your pitch with the recruit, or else they'll never talk to you again. That's what I learned from video games.
They'll lock you out.
Exactly. Just instantly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that while these guys were on campus, the staff told them about the newest developments with the NIL program, the new laws for the state of Missouri, because it's a great opportunity. And it's a great opportunity for the players. It's a great opportunity for Missouri, the university, to set themselves apart from some of these other schools that these guys might be looking at. And before we get into the details of the new deal and everything, think about a guy that's like, 5-star. This is a similar pitch that we've talked about from a fan's point of view of like coming in and being the guy who brings your home state school back to prominence and stuff like that, becoming a legend versus being just another 5-star at another school. And it seemed like Luther Burden was the guy that really bought into that concept.
Yeah.
And obviously
Seems to be going well so far.
Yeah, and it makes me a little nervous, like how much that whole narrative kind of hinges on his success.
Right.
It's like we're kind of putting a lot of eggs in the Luther Burden basket.
Right.
As far as that.
He's definitely writing the blueprint for exactly what we've hoped to always see is like, that top recruit that comes home and is special here. But yeah, we've always just kind of thrown that out as a recruiting pitch, but now it's like, okay, we got to actually make sure this like follows through and happens.
Yeah.
And Luther Burden has a great experience here and is productive on the field and gets NIL opportunities and all that, which I would assume both of those things will happen.
Yeah.
But if they do happen, I think that could be great though for that pitch in the future.
Yeah. So the newest details for the state of Missouri with that lawmakers signed with the name, image, and likeness amendment, there was a press release in it. I'll give you a little bit of that. The press release says the state's NIL law has been amended to permit members of the university, including coaches, to assist in seeking out third-party NIL deals. Coaches and university officials cannot receive compensation for this work, nor serve as representation to student athletes, nor attend meetings between student athletes and the third party. Additionally, Mizzou Athletics will be required to provide yearly financial development education to its student athletes. That doesn't seem like a huge deal on its face because, like, were coaches not going to be somewhat involved in that no matter what?
Yeah.
But I guess this just makes it to where coaches can breathe easy. They're not going to get in trouble for any of that, and they can be involved and just kind of know what's going on. I don't see it as helping as much as just regaining a little bit of control over the situation.
So yeah, it sounds like it's probably mainly for the coaches to maybe have a little more clarity on communications between the players and the third parties.
But I could also see it working to help the entire team be organized with their efforts in pursuing these deals and stuff.
Right.
Like a coach could basically, say, yeah, the entire team is in on this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this kind of these revisions to NIL beginning last summer or whenever that was, it was always necessary, and you always hoped that they were going to be able to make revisions and that it wasn't just going to be set in stone. However it started was how it was going to end. So it's good to see that they've realized, like, okay, we need to kind of take another look at like how exactly these processes are working and make changes. And I think that's a positive change that hopefully helps some of the just control the chaos that's going on.
So some of the things that Mizzou has already put in place or is already moving towards, this was tweeted by Power Mizzou, and it's some of specifically Mizzou's plans now that this is the case. Mizzou and Opendorse, which is a company that helps with endorsement deals, will launch a Tigers-specific marketplace to give fans, brands, and donors and sponsors an easier path to connect with potential Mizzou student-athlete partners. Missouri is one of a group of schools that's been selected to partner with Tops and Fanatics for first ever NIL trading card program featuring the Tigers' elite student athletes. The word elite scares me a little bit there because how do you decide who gets to have a trading card? But whatever.
He's always been about fairness.
I need to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a trading card expert here in the room with us. Producer Cameron has he didn't know I was bringing him in for this. Producer Cameron, you're a trading card expert. What your background
in some facets?
Your background is more Pokemon related.
Oh yeah.
Any thoughts on the trading card NIL program for Mizzou athletes?
I think it could be a hot item. That's for darn sure. Like, if people will probably go crazy for it.
Yeah.
Especially at first.
Do you want a Luther Burden card?
I'd take one, yeah. Just in case.
Just a little bit of speculative.
Just in case, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get in early.
Investment, yeah.
Yeah. Give me those first packs. Keep some unopened.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give away all my secrets, but
yeah, get some packs, see what you can pull.
Yeah. Okay. Content idea.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
There's no way that, I don't know. I can't imagine they would be like, this is a pack of cards. You don't know what you're going to get. But
no, probably not.
Yeah, a podcast can dream.
But if they want to make money, then they'll do that.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe eventually we'll get there. You could got a chance to pull a holographic. Holographic Luther Burden.
I'm just thinking if they're selling them, I don't know. I guess you can go to Springfield Cardinals and buy a pack of cards that's got all the players on it.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
fun for the
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. It's fun for the kids. You used to be able to buy, and maybe still can, entire seasons. You know, you'd get the entire box of tops, whatever, years, every single player that was on the roster for every team. My dad had a few of those, and actually had a Barry Bonds rookie season, entire
Like
Major League
every
Baseball.
card from that season.
Yes.
Huh.
Those are not very valuable, though, because there's a lot of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Interesting.
Mizzou trading cards. That's going to be big if they do it right. If anybody's listening to this and you need some ideas, I mean, Topps should know what they're doing, but we've got an expert right here to help you figure this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to, back to kind of what you started about, just kind of creating a central place for donations to be made. And I think that was, at first when NIL came out, it was kind of like, okay, how, if I want to donate, how in the world who do I talk to? Can I just go online and on a website somewhere? And honestly, I don't think you could. I don't really know how. You had to contact Mizzou somehow. I don't know. It was kind of a complicated situation, and you probably had to have a connection and be rich.
And it wasn't necessarily something for individuals.
Right. And so now it sounds like that it's going to be more of like a kind of a common person thing. If there's a website where you go on there and you just make a pledge, and they kind of just stockpile some donations that way, and you don't have to even donate very much if you don't want to. But I think that just is a more accessible and common sense way to do NIL from the kind of consumer donation standpoint.
Yeah, so that's another aspect of this whole thing, is just like basically opening it up for anyone. And so it's called Advancing Missouri Athletes. And if you go on the website, advancingmo.com, there's like, it tells you how you can participate as either an individual or a business. There's some tie-ins with Power Mizzou subscriptions and stuff like that. But I don't know how popular that's going to be. I mean, I feel like I feel like this is just going after the same people that already participate in like the Tiger Scholarship Fund.
Yeah.
So
kind
maybe
of competing with yourself in a way.
Yeah, just for this specific idea.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, but I feel like it's
there's going to be some overlap for sure.
if you can get more out of them by doing that, cool. But yeah, I think it might be a little bit of overlap. Another thing that they mentioned merchandise-wise with Fanatics is they're going to do customized Nike jerseys with current football student athletes available for purchase. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. That should have been a thing 50 years ago. But that's pretty cool.
Surely on the website they'll only have current players, of course. So they're still going to use NIL as a recruitment tool. So if you wanted to donate for that, I think you're still going to have to find the back door somehow. You're going to still have to find whatever they were doing for that beforehand. But if you want to donate for the current players on the roster for NIL opportunities, that's going to be the best way to do it, I think.
Buying a jersey?
Yeah, or just going to this website and making a general donation.
Yeah, not to downplay that at all, but like just personally for myself, I'm like, well, I might as well at least get a jersey out of it if I'm going to do something like that.
I agree.
Most of all, though, I want a holographic Luther Burden card.
Yeah. You already have your Luther Burden hoodie.
That's true.
Just make a shrine.
What's another thing like holographic that one might say about a trading card?
Prism, which is like a type of holographic.
Okay.
Mint.
Maybe they could do some with signatures on it.
Yeah.
Maybe a little jersey patch.
There you go. That's what I'm gonna say.
Game worn.
Game worn.
You see those old baseball cards with like a little piece of their bat? Like a little wooden bat chip in there.
So give me a game worn jersey Prism card.
In mint condition.
Gym mint.
Jim Mint, Harrison Mevis.
Oh.
Ooh. That'd be fun.
We better not be seeing those on eBay.
Mm-mm.
Don't be trying to flip these for maximum profits.
Don't try and black market
They'll
this.
be doing it.
Yeah, that will happen.
Don't tempt me with that either.
Surely you wouldn't.
Well, you never know. It looked pretty good sitting right here, and it's PSA graded.
Oh, I thought you meant like
case.
resell it.
Oh no,
No, he'll be on
yeah.
eBay looking for him.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure.
I'd be tempted to spend too much money on that.
Yeah,
kind
we'll
of
pay
stuff.
above market price.
Wouldn't be the first time we've done that.
That's true. Oh yeah, there's Drew. Drew like bobblehead. Got that on the black market.
Didn't we go to the game though?
Yes.
To those
That's
rat-
true.
And
we couldn't get one.
We were unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Actually going to the game and getting a bobblehead.
But we deserved it more than other people. We should have had one.
More than the person who sold it.
Obviously. They parted with it. We never would have.
Mm-mm.
Kyle, that's all. That's it's been a slow news week.
Yeah, it's kind of the calm before the storm. I think next week there's going to be some news next week as far as recruits on campus. They've kind of just been planning this end of June recruiting weekend, and that I believe it's next weekend. And so I'm sure we'll have more information on what's going to be going down next weekend. And so this week is a little quiet, but be looking forward to the next week or two with some recruiting news.
And don't forget, we will be recording ourselves eating very spicy hot wings. Hopefully we enjoy it to some extent before the heat takes over. But we'll be recording that for a Patreon exclusive. And anything else? Before too long, we'll be starting fantasy football back up.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun last year. And we've got a merch drop coming soon for Patreon folks. Can't wait to reveal that.
That's going to be fun.
But other than that, I guess I'll just say my thank yous. Special thank you to the Patreon supporters at the $10 level and above. Britt Treese, Brian Smith, Ryan D. Tristan, Ben Smith, Parker, Daddy JD, Luis Hernandez, Tim Keynes, and Tyler Harshel. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. This podcast is what it is. Is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. We are on Twitter at Mizzou Sports Pod, and you can email us on MissouriSportsPod@gmail.com.
You can find our t-shirts and stickers on our online shop, MissouriSportsPod.BigCollarTel.com.
Thank you everyone for listening. We will see you next week.